Go ahead.
And I just wanted to share a tiny bit about our company and what we do is nurse practitioners come to us from all the United States, and we will review your resume. We'll talk about it a little bit. We will give you suggestions and coach you in interviewing. So even if we can't necessarily find you a position, we're more than happy to do that, and we create a lifetime relationship with you. And we really support your professional development, just like what you were mentioning, is we watch people as they get their DNP and how excited that they are for research and projects and growing professionally, or they're involved in NAPNAP and that sort of thing. So I really encourage you to kind of embrace, particularly what people are saying, for a lifetime of professional growth and development, and that we are available anytime to either bounce ideas off, or if you're specifically looking for a job, and we can help you. So.
Thanks, Jill. Okay, so we're going to have a question and answer session, and I'm going to kind of get it going, and just ask the panel, and anybody on the panel can certainly answer this, is how did you start making contacts? So you started to get an idea of what you wanted to do. How did you start to make those contacts in order to get the job?
Well, I can start. I was fortunate in, when I did my rotation, I actually did it at the clinic that I currently work at. And, after about 2 months, the medical director was like, "Do you want a job?" And, I told her, I said, "Well, that would be great, but I still have 8 months left of school." And she's like, "Okay, well, we'll just have to make sure that you keep your foot in the door." And then as time has progressed, it was interesting because I also sought out some interesting clinical experiences and worked with Dr. Holstad, who was over at the Ponce Clinic in infectious disease. And so as I was going through my DNP, I kept in contact with her. And so it just so happened that she was a faculty search committee member when I decided to start looking for a position. So, I mean, every opportunity that you take, you just want to make sure you maintain those contacts. And with every single one of my preceptors, I always made sure that I had some form of getting in touch with them, and just kind of working from there.
I think definitely through clinicals is a good way to do some networking and stuff like that. But one other thing that I want to just kind of mention, I didn't go through this, but a friend of mine did. Asking your preceptors and asking the doctors who you work with, they probably have come from other places and they know people somewhere else. Like they probably moved from New York or North Carolina, and they probably know somebody in New York or North Carolina that has a similar practice and things like that. And they can obviously recommend you, and so that's another good way to kind of have a lead into something. So just asking what their training is, where they come from, what have they done, do they know anybody, making yourself available for things to help out in the clinic, whether it's for clinical or not for clinical, if you have the time to do that, the kind of stuff. It's just networking.
I looked a lot online, just at different jobs, like throughout the country when I was getting ready to be done with school, and that was helpful. And then kind of networked through some of those people that I found to find other jobs that I was doing. Also, I guess a year and a half ago took a job with the anesthesia group at Scottish Rite, just on a PRN basis, worked very sparingly, maybe 1 day a month. And that was helpful to that actually helped me get into the job that I'm in now, kind of to just get my foot in the door back into the hospital setting, met a lot of different people from all the different specialties, and really got to know people that way and kind of got another feel of an idea. So even if it's just 1 day a month, you're working, and it can get you in, get you in to meet other people.
Did anybody use their position as a nurse to kind of move into a nurse practitioner role or an educator role?
I worked in the technology dependent unit, which was primarily tracheostomies and ventilators, which is also my area of research that I have focused on. But I was a staff nurse there, and most of the physicians and nurse practitioners and PAs knew me, so it was definitely an opening for a position there. But I would also like to say that when looking at some of my clinical rotations that I chose, like I did cardiology and GI and some different areas, but those were areas that I thought I had weaknesses in and wanted to learn more about. And I thought that was really helpful because when you get even to a specialty area in pulmonary, we would prescribe Zantac, and we would do things as far as order cardiac tests and those sort of things. So it definitely helped me to get that first pediatric nurse practitioner position. And then also as a pediatric nurse practitioner, I precepted. You know, as soon as I was comfortable, I precepted students, which I know as students probably looking at clinical sites, you're happy to know that people are out there and are willing to precept. I precepted students. And then I also did guest lectures. So by the time I reached a point where I didn't want to interview for my first faculty position, I hadn't taught per se, but I did have on my resume precepting experiences, guest lectures, and other things that really supported me applying for that position and being qualified for that position.